If I was thinking a little bit ahead, I would have worn my shirt about the witch. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you're doing well, having a beautiful night. Hopefully not a night as cold as it is here, but even though I know it's cold here, it's not as cold as where some of you are. Today we're going to listen to some more Suzanne Vega. Listen, from the previous track we listened to with Marlene's Wall, listen, I have no problem listening to more from Miss Vega. That's going to be a happy ass for me. We're listening to this track, Witch. This is off of the album Flying with Angels' 10th studio album, which was actually just released last year in 2025. We're listening to this track because it was suggested and sponsored by Michael. So, Michael, thank you so much for the recommendation. Really appreciate the support as well. All right, so there's a gap of time between, of course, the track we listened to in the year that came out compared to this one. Really curious to see how this one stacks up in comparison. You know what I should do as I'm talking is pull up the actual album so we can go ahead and listen to the song. You know, that might be a wise idea. Speaking of witches, I'm reading the book right now. I'm reading the book Circe, which is about the witch Circe from Greek mythology. And it's a really cool book. I'm 60% or so through with it. And I have like a reading goal this year. Like I have a Goodreads and I'm trying to make I'm trying to get a goal of like 50 books for the year. And I think this is book number 6 or 7. But it is so far kind of stacking up to be possibly one of my top ones this year. I've always liked Greek mythology a lot anyway, so it's just really cool to read a book like this from her. Here's the book really quick. Pull it up here for you, Circe. It's a really good book. I'm really enjoying it quite a lot. So there's your book recommendation. All right, can you imagine? I should do book reactions. How would that work? Chapter by chapter? Let's go ahead and listen to the song. We'll, of course, discuss it a little bit after. Which?
Going along our usual path, my love and I on an ordinary day. Suddenly, before me I see a person turn, I begin to pray. She stares me in the eye so bold, she sees him, then she makes her pitch. I feel the air become bone cold, in the light of other ages is the witch.
Woo! I did not know it was gonna jump in like that.
What witch hit this switch, striking him down not only once but twice? Life divides into two sides, before and after with a terrible price. What witch sent this glitch into the brain? A cranial surprise, struck down his stuttering frown. She's hitting him twice as he tries again to rise. What fate decreed this state of blunt shock despair? You mute the man because you can, leaving everybody all stunned and standing there.
Like that metal, whatever that is, they're striking.
She points the wand, cuts the bond. Suddenly speech is a show of absurdity. Hand to hand, he's fighting to stand. We're living in a state of a permanent emergency. Suddenly speech is a show of absurdity. Living in a state
like lightning every time those doors come open. I don't know what I expected, but that was completely not what I expected. Completely good. Um, the change from the very atmospheric opening in which we're walking the path through the forest, her with her man, they're walking the path like a young Goodman Brown kind of situation, and then what do you know? There's the witch right there, and what happens from there? Really cool change of atmosphere though, because I love the atmosphere in the beginning. It was very spooky, a little ominous, a little mysterious. And then once the witch appears, and of course the music moves on from that, it becomes like a lightning bolt. It becomes like a spell cast, and it just explodes with color and energy, and it's just really cool how it moves on from there. The heaviness of the music is kind of interesting, and I didn't expect some of the little moments of heaviness. And overall, I don't mean like in a metal kind of way or anything like that, but there's a rocking attitude, for lack of a better word, in here that's accented by a lot of little things that happen in the minutia of the music, I guess you could say. So there's a little moment where there's like someone's hitting something metal, whatever it might be, some sort of symbol or maybe just a metal object, of course, percussive in the music, just a little clank. Then there's a moment where the guitar riff itself, more like in the background beneath the music, there's a heavier chord that kind of comes in, and there's like a deepness, there's a depth to that I think is really interesting. And there's moments like that kind of strewn throughout the song, these little details that are constantly happening on the side. And that's what I mean, like the song has a heaviness, not in a metal way, not in a, drop D standard tuning kind of way. It's in a, I guess, for lack of a better word, thematic way. And it's the way the music tells that story and sets that particular tone, which I think it works really well. There's this synth that comes in halfway through or so that really, like, to me, adds this near progressive prog kind of nature to it. And obviously the song is not prog in any way. It's nothing like that. But it leans towards that sound. Maybe it's just the inherent sound of synthesizers in the way that I listen to them. But it just creates this really interesting tale that it spins, not only, of course, lyrically, but musically. It is very, very well traveled. This is a really cool track and a surprise, to say the least. In some capacity, listening to this song reminds me a little bit of Peter Gabriel, I would say, in the way that, like, yes, they're making, for lack of a better word, a pop song, right? It's chorus, verse, chorus, and everything and such. Well, I guess it's not really a chorus in this one, but you know what I mean? Like, they're making a song in that nature. But there's so much other instrumentation happening. There's so many other cards that are being played and held in hand that it makes it more than that. And that's where the genre, of course, of like art pop and progressive pop and things like that come in. It's a little bit more. Kate Bush, a great example. Yeah, she makes songs that are, catchy, they're poppy, but there's something more to it. There's a depth that's not just a pop. It's a deeper kind of pop. I don't know what sound that would be, the deeper pop, but that's what it is. Going along our usual path, my love and I on an ordinary day. Suddenly before me I see a person turn. I begin to pray. She stares me in the eye so bold. She sees him, then she makes her pitch. I feel the air become bone cold. In the light of other ages is the witch. That witch hit this switch, striking him down not only once but twice. Life divides into two sides, before and after, with a terrible price. Let's see where the story goes on. What witch sent this glitch into the brain? A cranial surprise struck down his stuttering frown. She's hitting him twice as he tries to rise. I have a theory, but let's keep on going. What fate decreed this state of blunt and shocked despair? You mute the man because you can, leaving everybody all stunned and standing there. She has this power over him. She points the wand, cuts the bond. Suddenly speech is a show of absurdity. Like anytime he speaks, it's just absurd. Hand to hand, he's fighting to stand. We're living in a state of permanent emergency. Suddenly speech is a show of absurdity. And of course it repeats from there. Can I tell you what I think this is about? Of course, it could be a literal story about this witch, such as the Lady Lies. It sure could be, absolutely. I think it's about another woman coming in between her and her love, as they're going along their usual path, just going along life. And she strikes him down, leaving him deaf, dumb, and mute. I think he cheated with this witch, so to speak. And he has no excuses. He has nothing to say. She's provided the evidence. Maybe they're exposing him. And what can he say? Any speech is an absurdity. Don't even try. I could be reading into it a little bit. Something of that nature. But, it could, listen. Could go in multiple directions here. Could absolutely go into multiple directions there. Let me know what you guys thought, of course, of the track in the comments down below. I hope that you enjoyed the music. Hope that you enjoyed myself and the reaction and, my thoughts and such. Thank you, as always, for being here. Michael, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for the supports and the exposure to later Suzanne Vega, because I definitely plan to listen to some more. You guys gave a lot of recommendations from her, so I'm kind of excited to dive into some more of that. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you, as always, for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day or your evening, your afternoon, wherever it may land, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.